Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Irresistible and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'll be talking about how your identity is never defined by your actions. But before we get started, I want to first of all thank you all for your immense patience with me for not posting for the last 2 months. I explained in a community post what it is that has happened with me. Unfortunately, in July, I lost my father. He passed away all of a sudden. So it was a time that I needed to step back and be with my family and process everything that has happened. And I honestly tried at some point to think about posting, but I just didn't feel called to do it. The ideas were not flowing in, and I'm someone who really needs to be in flow and allow these ideas to come through and to create from an authentic place. It didn't feel authentic to me to do it otherwise. So I really, really appreciate all your kind words and messages and for your patience during this time. And I hope that I will be going back and posting much more frequently. I'm aiming for at least 2 videos per week. And of course, please always share with me your ideas for videos. These are always very helpful to me in creating content and helping you on your journey of manifesting. But as usual, before we get started, I just want to remind you that I offer both email and video coaching. So if you need help in manifesting any of your desires or in releasing any of your blocks, you definitely want to check out all my coaching options. They are in the description below. And I'm very pleased to announce that I now have a monthly one-on-one intensive coaching package where you really get to work with me full force to help you manifest your desires. And you get access to me through WhatsApp, through text, through emails, and we meet up 3 times a week. So if this sounds interesting to you, please do check it out. I'm going to link it below, but it's also on my website in case it's not listed below, because some of my older videos will not have that. And of course, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon if you'd like to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So today's video is inspired by a coaching session with one of my lovely clients who is working on manifesting a long-term commitment from her current partner. Even though he loves her immensely and has said that to her so many times, but he is not on the same page as her. As we were working together, she felt called or inspired to step back from the relationship until she got a better outcome from him. And it felt effortless for her to do that. And when she told me that, I said, great. By the way, whenever I work with my clients, I never give them actions to take in 3D. I always tell them to do what they are called to do. I once had a client of mine who has OCD, and she felt anxious at the thought of forcing any action. And I told her there is 0 action for you to take. You continue doing everything that makes you comfortable and happy. There is nothing forced. The only work is the inner work. When we say inner work, is changing our assumptions, working on maybe affirming or visualizing or just holding the identity of who we decide to be. And then allowing that action to come from a place of inspiration. There's never ever any forced action, and I never tell my clients to take any forced action. So when she came and told me that she felt called to step back, it wasn't something I told her to do. She felt called to do that, and it was perfect. I told her, great, that's wonderful. And it felt effortless for her to do that. Then we met a couple of weeks later, and she told me, with a lot of shame, she said, I felt that I needed to bridge the gap. I reached out to him and we met up again. And then I was really judging myself and feeling regretful for taking that action. Now, when she first told me that she reached out to him, I also said, that's great. I did not tell her you should not have done that. She felt called to do that. And I said, great. You took action on what you feel called to do. The only thing is what's going on mentally for her. In her mind, she was judging herself for not holding the identity of the woman who is loved, chosen, pursued, and committed to. In her mind, she was judging herself for the actions she has taken because she is believing that it's about the action. But I told her that all her 3D actions are irrelevant and they do not define her identity. It does not matter what actions you are taking in the 3D, especially when you are feeling called to do that. She felt called to step back and then she felt called to bridge the gap again. That is perfectly okay. It's more about what she is assuming about herself that is more important. How she is judging herself and her actions. Everything in the 3D is neutral, including your actions and behaviors, including what types of actions you are taking. It may not seem aligned with the identity of the woman who is loved, chosen, and pursued, but we're not creating change through action. You are the one who is making these judgments about yourself, and these inner judgments are what are determining your identity. It's not the actions. In my client's case, her actions towards her partner do not define who she is. It's how she is judging her actions that define her identity. What matters is the identity she is choosing to hold on the inside. Everything in the 3D, meanwhile, including her actions and behaviors, are irrelevant. So we're never trying to create change through action. I told her that she felt called to reach out to him. It's perfectly okay. Your higher mind is always leading you on the path of least resistance. This is her path of least resistance. Her action of bridging that gap is her path of least resistance. It's perfectly okay. Don't judge yourself. And this happened for her. This whole thing happened for her. So she sees how it's never about the actions. It's about what you're saying about yourself. Meanwhile, so when she reached out to him, she's like, well, I'm too easy. I'm accepting his terms. I'm blah, blah, blah. She's telling a story around what actions she took. That is what we have a problem with. It's not the actual action, which her actions are neutral. It's how she's judging and perceiving her actions. So trying to create change through 3D actions is a bottom-up approach. If she were to actually decide that I'm going to step back from this relationship and try to create the change through action, and there are a lot of, dating coaches out there who help you with that, it's a bottom-up approach. It may not be your path of least resistance. It's never about the actions. It's more about how you are judging your actions. There's a big difference. So if you recall the levels of reality creation, I had created that video for you several months back, which I will link above. I explain how there are 7 levels of creation and actions are at the very bottom. It's much harder to create change through action. You want to create it from the top. What are you assuming about yourself? What identity are you holding? If she is holding the identity of the woman who's loved, chosen, pursued, and committed to, no action that she takes is going to matter. It's all about holding that from within. Just like my OCD client, I told her you hold the identity of the person who's happy and healthy and thriving and living her best life. And meanwhile, don't try to change the actions that make you feel comfortable. You don't do it through action. You hold that inner thing and you don't judge whatever actions you need to take, meanwhile, to help soothe you, to help you feel better. That action is being driven by your higher mind. And then at some point, you're going to be called to take certain actions. And she felt called to step back, and then she felt called to bridge the gap. Both of these are coming from her higher mind. She's working through that. That's what's important, the inspired action, never trying to force any changes. So actions are very much at the very bottom. This does not mean we don't take action. That does not mean we take inspired action. Inspired action, you feel called to do something. And then don't judge it. Don't judge the actions that you take. My client's perspective, her withdrawal from the relationship, as well as the reconciliation or bridging that gap, was all inspired. That is perfectly okay. She did not force anything. And she did not force herself to maintain that distance. That would have felt harder for her. She took action on what she felt. Her only mistake, which is not a mistake by the way, it's her learning. Her learning to bring to conscious awareness the fact how she is judging her actions. And that's not what we want. We want to maintain that inner identity regardless of anything we're saying or doing in the 3D. And just like the 3D does not matter, our actions and behaviors do not matter. It's what we're saying about ourselves on the inside that does matter. So her only mistake was to judge her action of reconciling with him. All actions are irrelevant. Don't judge what you feel called to do. Just hold on to the identity you are choosing, which is level 5. Level 5 in the 7 levels of reality creation. Her one and only goal is to maintain who she is unconditionally. And that is that she is loved, pursued, chosen, and committed to, period. That's all that she needs to do. And no 3D actions or behaviors can ever change that, except how you perceive them. 3D actions and behaviors are neutral. I hope that this makes sense to you. We're never forcing any action. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, comment, and share. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.